Don't engage alone. We do this together.
Yeah!
Yeah!
We got it! We got it!
New 52 book.
Somebody clip this one.
Welcome to Comics League Movie Night. I'm Jared. Today I'm here with Teladia Plays. What's up, dude?
Not much. Enjoyed a bit of Aliens today.
Yeah, we're talking about the sequel to Ridley Scott Alien called Aliens. And this was quite the movie, if I may say so myself.
What a film! I've got to say, from start to finish, what I just watched, what I just witnessed.
Had you seen it before prior to this?
No.
Oh, this was your first time watching. Oh, this is going to be really fun. I've seen it a bunch of times.
No, this was my first time watching Aliens with the S.
With the S, good. I wanted to make sure because I was like, is he going to say he's going to watch Alien? Okay, good. We're good. So the interesting thing about this movie is this is one of the first times that like a movie that like you had a perfect sequel in that the first one is definitely more on the horror side of it, but then this one is more on the action movie-ish part of it.
Sci-fi-ish, yeah.
And that's what they really want to go with. That's why you have like colonial Marines, and that's why you have like more gunfights. Plus the fact, here's the thing, they can use guns in this movie as opposed to the last one, because the last one they're on a spaceship, and if you shoot the aliens with their acid blood, it's going to eat through the hull. In this, they're on a planet, so it's not really that much of an issue. And this also introduces the idea of the alien queen. Prior to this, the queen was never introduced to Teladia.
You know, yeah. The thing was, like, when I watched this, I was mesmerized with the fact that the beginning of the film. First, let's talk about the beginning of the film.
Okay,
right?
yeah.
Because I never, like, mind you, I saw the first film. It's been a long time since I've seen the first film. So, like, obviously, I had to refresh my mind a bit. So I watched a bit of clips on YouTube. I'm like thinking, oh, okay, that makes sense now when it continues on from the second one. So I'm just like, oh, she's having nightmares. She's having flashbacks of what happened in the first film. For example, the alien in the room type of thing. And I'm just like, oh no, don't tell me she's gonna have one on board.
Oh yeah.
Luckily she didn't have one on board. Luckily that never happened.
Well, yeah, because the dream. And fun fact, it's kind of funny with Ripley. This is the closest she ever gets to Earth.
Yeah, this is the first. You know what was really cool about this was the fact that this was really, it was close to Earth, but the whole sci-fi about it felt so futuristic.
Well, fun fact, the other thing that's kind of interesting is that when in the extended cut we find out she had a daughter, but Ripley was in stasis for like 57 years, so the daughter's dead. The daughter is who you play as in Alien Isolation.
Oh, I didn't know.
So that's how that links in there. So apparently killing aliens runs in the family. So there you go.
That I didn't know. But I'll say this though, when it comes down to the movie, it was one like top.
It's really good. And so as it turns out, you have this colony on the planet from the original alien. So that is the planet that they set down on. Obviously, with time passing, it's now in the process of being colonized. And this salvage family gets a call saying, hey, we need you to go out there because there's an object there. we find out exactly why later. But so they go there, and then the father comes back with a face hugger on his head, and the face hugger are those little hand things that like attach to someone's head
From
and
Alien
implant the embryo.
Romulus.
From Romulus, yes, they're also there. All right, so this is technically the sequel to Romulus because Romulus takes place between Alien and Aliens.
Yeah.
So there you go. So it's kind of cool talking about this movie after seeing Romulus. So I'm really happy with that. So
by the way,
that
this was my
yeah,
pick, by the way. This was my pick, by the way, wasn't it?
No, your pick was Predator 2. Mine is Aliens.
Oh, okay. I thought it was my pick. Sorry, my
No,
bad.
yeah, LV 426. So then we lose contact with the colony.
Yeah.
And and they come to Ripley and say, "Hey, listen, we need you to come and like advise because they went to your ship, to that ship you say you found, and then everyone's like not responding." So she rolls in. So she is sent with a squadron of colonial marines. Now, here's the funny part about this. So James Cameron was like basing like the way the Marines act amongst each other on like Vietnam War like videos and such about like the soldiers being very like undisciplined.
But wait,
Here's
wait,
the
wait.
problem.
Wait. Before that, she does go speak to the board members, right? You forgot
Oh
about that.
I love the board member scene because they're like they don't believe her that she encountered aliens, and I'm like, you're traveling throughout space
And you don't notice
and
that,
you don't
like,
believe that aliens exist? Are you kidding me? Plus, this would be when you guys were in diapers.
you guys are in diapers.
Well, when you think about it, because of the time jump, it's like they would be like ridiculously young at this time. Obviously, it's not as big of a time jump as Nick, but we all understand that.
You're never gonna let that go, are you?
No.
But the thing is, right? The board member is telling Ripley that, oh, you're not fit to be a high position on the space expedition, whatever. I'm just like, well, that sucks for Ripley. Hey, at least she gets to live the rest of her days as a free person, right?
True. And
But,
so they show up there. So with the Colonial Marines, here's the thing about that I wanted to say.
mhm.
James Cameron got something wrong with this because he was basing the way the Marines act around like old Vietnam stuff about like the U.S. Army soldiers like just hanging out, tank top stuff. The Marines are much more disciplined. So there's no, even he admits, yeah, I really screwed that up, but it's fine because it's kind of funny. The Marines are like the most quotable characters in this entire damn movie. Like where they're like, "Hey, Vasquez, you ever get mistaken for a man?" No. Have you?
Yeah, when I heard that, I was just like, okay.
Yeah. It's really funny. And I love where they're like, apparently she saw an alien once. Whoop de effing do. Because it's like, yeah, they have seen aliens before. That's why they say, is this a straight up fight or another bug hunt? But they never encountered the xenomorph. So that's why they can still kind of say, oh, this is different.
But when it came down to the soldiers, Bill Paxton was one of the actors that actually was a soldier,
and he's in Predator 2.
He's in Predator 2, and
Terminator. So when you think about it, he's been killed by an alien, a Terminator, and a Predator.
So basically, he's been killed by DLC characters from Mortal Kombat.
Actually, yeah. So he's been what's the line? So he's been like combated, whatever. But anyway, so so the idea is that they're going there to like find out what happened to the colony, and I like how this builds up because the Marines are super like, we got this. We're squad of ultimate badasses. We'll protect you. We got nukes. We got pulse rifles. We got ball bearings. So they drop in the little drop ship, which I think is actually really cool. The way the rocket launcher wings just fold out. And I'm like, yeah, that is dope. It lands. And they're going throughout the little facility. I think it's called Hadley's Hope, and they're seeing. So there's obviously signs of a fight.
Yeah.
And then it's like there's like holes in the ground that go down really far, as if they've been eaten through with acid.
Yeah, that was interesting, right? When they showed that, the visual effects for that was really cool. Like
the idea, by the way, for the acid blood when Ridley Scott created the movie, it was because he wanted to avoid the whole, well, why don't they just shoot the xenomorphs? By the way, hey, what's up, Brown? Brown asks, are aliens and predators part of the same universe?
Yes.
Or yes, it is.
Yes,
it is. Aliens, they reference each other in Aliens and Predator movies. It's just, at this point, I don't think. What started it was there was in Predator 2. It's actually really interesting that we're going to cover Predator 2 next week. There's a xenomorph skull on the Predator ship. Because what we'll find out is, as a rite of passage, every Predator has to kill a xenomorph.
Yeah. Fun fact for you guys as well. There was an Aliens comic book for DC, which is called Superman Aliens.
Okay, you know what? You're going to make me get my comics out. Oh, boy. So, what I got, I have Superman Aliens.
That is the comic, my first ever comic I read at school.
Really?
Yeah.
And then I got these. These are just alien comics. So I got Aliens Genocide, which is about an alien civil war between the red aliens and the regular aliens. And then Marvel actually started putting out some Aliens comics of their own by writer Philip Kennedy Johnson. Yes, of the Warworld saga. That's Philip Kennedy Johnson. And Marvel put out something very cool. Avengers versus Aliens. And it is super. It's about the aliens taking over Earth, basically. And it is so good.
But is it better than Superman versus Aliens? I don't think so.
It's very. So it's. I love a Superman versus Aliens. So he still won't kill him, but I love how he gets face hugged and he has to get out to the sun so he could like so it doesn't like kill him, and the alien just kills itself trying to get out. Wait, what are the red aliens? Because I don't know who they were in xenomorph biology. No, they're literally, Tevia, just xenomorphs, but colored red. It's a different breed, because in this comic we go the xenomorph homeworld. It's a
different breed.
Well, yeah, even the comics and the toy line from this, they actually had like a gorilla alien, a snake alien. So they had a lot of other really cool like little toys that expanded the. It's basically any animal that had a xenomorph.
I've seen the hot toys for it, by the way.
I kind of want a xenomorph in a Predator hot toy. I kind of do, I think. Because then I could pose up and do Predators versus Superman or Predator versus Wonder Woman, which I still want, DC. Anyway. So they roll in. Yeah. So now what do you think of the motion tracker thing? And the sound it made whenever there was anything moving?
It's a little bit annoying, in my opinion.
Yeah, but it's meant to like bring in a little bit more tension.
I know it brings tension, but it felt like annoyance with the sound.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I see.
If you know what I mean. Like it goes beep 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 beep. Like it gets on your nerves sometimes.
Sometimes, yes, particularly if you've seen this movie a lot and know what's coming out. But so then then we meet Newt, and she's the only survivor of the attack, and she's like completely like almost catatonic. And then Ripley basically adopts her and
as a daughter.
Yeah, exactly. And then and Brown says, are Predator and Aliens done with the same production company or something? How else would they give Easter eggs to each other? Probably either that, or because I know they didn't so they did Predator 2 and then they did Aliens versus Predator comics. I think it's just like they're owned by like Fox. And Fox is like, okay, so we'll just cross these over. It's fine.
Yeah, this was done by 20th Century Fox when it first came out.
So they find the colonists, which are like strung up in this one area. So the Marines roll out, and then we get the scene. What I like about this, I like about the buildup of this, is that they spend up to this point in the movie hyping up the Colonial Marines as these unstoppable badasses, state of the badass art.
But when they say that, I'm just like thinking, you guys are gonna die first.
And then they do die first. Yeah, exactly. It's like they get torn apart by the xenomorphs.
And that's for trying to be cocky.
So, fun fact, a lot of this, this had a bunch of practical aliens, obviously, because the technology was kind of not there. But they brought this idea back in Romulus, where a lot of the aliens were practical. They were either puppets or dudes in suits.
Oh, okay. That's
why it looks so good, because you don't have to worry about the CGI aging.
Like, the thing is, it stand the test of time. Aliens has,
yeah,
right. It has stand the test of time. I believe the film came out in 1983 or 81. So we're looking like a 30 to 40 year span from when the movie first released. And in my opinion, I still believe this film stands the test of time. And I love the fact that, you got Sigourney Weaver still being, I don't want to, say, can I say it?
Sure, go ahead.
Badass.
Yeah, of course. That's fine.
I didn't want to.
No, badass I allow.
Okay, I wanted to make sure.
I appreciate that.
But yeah, I think she was a badass in this film, and I think her development throughout the film as well was very well done by James Cameron. Like it kept it on trajectory from the first film into the second film, and I think what also was cool was, I think, the practical effect. Remember in when they all were like trying to like hunt for the aliens at the campsite. I can't remember what it was called. The
Hadley Hope.
Yeah, right. So when the soldiers were going in, I was just like, you guys are gonna die. You know that, right?
There's a lot of tension in this scene, and like most of them do. And then I like how many people get like killed by the acid blood too, like Drake.
Yeah.
Where, and I also love this movie has so many great lines. I love where the alien's like in the door, and then and then Hicks grabs his shotgun and goes, "Eat this!" And then a little bit of acid gets on Hudson's arm.
Yeah, and you're not getting close towards the end of the film, right? When there was only one soldier left, one soldier, he got acid on his chest, right? And then obviously
a little bit of the face, it looked like, based upon the bandages.
But how did that get on his face? I still don't get that, because there was nothing on his face when they were doing the shot.
Yeah, that's true. That's kind of weird. And by the way, Brown, yes, I have seen the new one.
I haven't yet.
Awesome.
I haven't yet because I've been too busy.
But it's a really good movie. And yeah, so they all evac in the APC, and they decide, let's just nuke this place from orbit. We obviously know what happened to the colonists now. Let's get out of here. An alien got on the dropship and destroys it. So now they're stuck here.
And that dude, that one pilot, getting torn apart.
Yeah, you see the dropship flying in. Then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah,
it's really cool. And then you discover the crash damaged the like terraformer, and it turns out now you have a time crunch where it's like in like 48 hours the whole thing is gonna explode like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, but you know the special effects on this?
Yeah.
For an 80s film, it does look really
well, you know what they were doing? They basically took miniatures, crashed them, and then like projected the footage on top of the footage of the actors taking cover.
You know what this reminded me of?
What?
Total Recall.
Or Star Wars, because they did a very similar technique in the original
No,
Star Wars movies.
I mean Total Recall's visual effects is
Yeah.
similar to this. Because like remember they were in Total Recall on a dying planet. In this, they're on a spaceship, and the visual effects and everything looks similar to that.
They're still on a dying planet in this one as well, which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right, when was this released? Is this treated as horror or action? So this was released in 1986, and this is the one that's more of an action movie instead of like a more horror. Horror was the original Alien movie, which awesome. And then, so now what they have to do, and this is the scariest part of the movie, honestly.
Yeah.
The android Bishop has to crawl through a drainage pipe to get to the other end of the antenna to remote pilot the other dropship from their ship down to pick him up. And I'm sorry, that is terrifying, being like this close quarters in that thing. You can't turn. You can only go straight. And I'm like, yeah, that is terrifying.
But still, Jared, it's like, I don't know how Sigourney Weaver got away with what she did in this film. She made a woman look like a badass, right?
Yeah, this was one of the like examples that everyone looks to when they say that you can have a female
lead.
Yeah, and have it be a badass and not have it be like the typical girl boss stuff. It's all the matter of like typical Hollywood nowadays. So at the same time, they decide. So one of the things I love, this is one of my favorite scenes, they deploy sentry guns in corridors, and then they're watching as the sentry guns are running out of ammo because there's so many aliens left.
Yeah.
And fun fact, in the Colonial Marines game, when you re-enter Hadley's Hope, you find those guns with that amount of ammo left.
Mind you, I haven't played the game yet. So.
The game is not that good, but it's another sequel to Aliens. So as we continue, it turns out, so then we get this scene. So the company man Burke, he's been acting very shady the whole movie. So while Newt and Ripley are sleeping, Burke releases a few facehuggers into the room. And the facehuggers honestly are the scariest part of this movie. And I liked how like the way they got like the Marines' attention is they essentially set off the fire suppression system so there would be like an alarm. And then they find out it's Burke, and then they're like, "You're dog meat, pal. We're gonna waste you," because his plan was get Ripley and Newt impregnated with the aliens so they could have a live specimen back at Earth, and then take out the Marines' cryopods as they sleep.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that idea. And Burke, I'm sorry, but Burke was a douchebag in this film.
He got what he deserved. And then we get the most. So the power goes out. They're like, "How they got the power, man? They're animals." And then the motion tracker starts acting kind of weird. And they're like, "Oh no, wait, they're in the room." So Hicks gets on a ladder and looks in the roof. And I love the way this is framed. He's rotating. Then the light just illuminates a crap ton of xenomorphs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh no." And then like they all start falling from the ceiling. Hudson gets taken out. We find out what they did, what happened in that game to Hudson in that game. He got face hugged. And then Burke also got face hugged as he tried to escape. I love that. And then so the Marines escape, and then now it's down to just Ripley, Hicks, Bishop, and
the little girl,
and Newt. Yeah. So Newt is taken by the xenomorphs because and then Hicks gets like acid on him. As we said before, it's kind of weird. Maybe he like maybe a little done on his face, but not that much. But the point is he's injured. He's injured.
Yeah, he's injured. But the thing is, what really still confuses me is that shot because it hits his armor, but it doesn't hit his face.
As
In the
far as we
shot,
know, it doesn't hit his face because if you notice, I think the way the camera was positioned, we didn't see his head.
maybe, but still, it's still a cool shot when the acid goes onto his armor, right?
It is. And so Ripley won't leave Newt behind.
Yeah.
So she has Bishop drop her off at the terraformer and says, okay, I'm gonna go get her. You like circle and find me. And I like how she does that. She she tapes a flamethrower to an assault rifle, loads it up with grenades. And by the way, you can use that in the Colonial Marines game.
And you know what's interesting is the fact that there's only limited ammo she had in that.
Yeah, she only had like a couple of magazines, like I'd say 3 or 4 magazines for the rifle and then a little bit of the flamethrower. Because remember, what's actually kind of genius the way they did this is when the original Marines are ambushed, they give all their ammo to like this one guy because the idea was they couldn't have any like gunfire in the facility where the colonists were being held because if they ruptured the like coolant thing, it would cause it to go up. So everyone takes their mags out, gives this one dude, and then the dude is killed by aliens. So it's actually kind of cool they do that. So then, Ripley fights her way to the chamber, and this is where we see the alien queen, which I think holds the record as like the largest animatronic.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to check that up on social media. But...
And just the way it breathes, it's like, and I'm like, okay, that is terrifying. And then you see the head come out of the crown, and I'm like, oh god.
Yeah, that was that. By the way, that was a bit scary for me. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
Because
oh my gosh, Brown saw when he was in kindergarten. What? What parent shows their kindergartner aliens?
Yeah, Brown. What kindergartner gets to see aliens? Like, come on.
The earliest I was like 13 or so, and my friend and I had like a weekend where like we watched every single one of them, and it was terrifying. So she eventually like so she finds Newt, and there's like a bunch of like face huggers. So what Ripley does is she like flamethrowers it. And what's cool, so they get to the elevator and they get out, but then it turns out like the queen is intelligent enough to operate elevators, so she's coming up after them. Then they get picked up by Bishop in the other dropship, and then you think everything's good. This is the way the alien movies go, and I love it.
Yeah.
They did this in Romulus as well, by the way, where you think everything's fine, and then Bishop is stabbed through the chest with the queen's tail and torn in half. So the queen had apparently stolen aboard the landing gear of the dropship.
By the way, that was disgusting. The way he
the like milk that like spews out of him.
You would have thought that would have been blood, not
I think the reason why they did that is because I mean he's a robot, so having like different blood is kind of like it's okay, that's fine. It could have also been like black oil maybe or something like that, but I think that would have been stereotypical. The point is, so Ripley hops in a mech suit essentially, which is the power loader, and fights the queen and then blasts it into space again.
It reminds you of the first film.
Does remind you of the first. Again, every alien movie more or less has this like pattern where you have the movie and it makes you think at the end that everything's okay, we're fine, we're gonna escape. But then there's one like hiccup, if you will. Romulus certainly does this in something that is ridiculously terrifying. I'm not saying the line, Tevia. I can't say the line on this because that's a swear word, and I'm not saying that on here. The point is, and then she goes into cryo sleep, and then she's the only survivor, and that's the end of the movie. But again, this was one of like my favorite like sci-fi movies of all time. What about you, Teladia?
For a first time watch, I really liked it. I really enjoyed this film. Um, if I had to rate this out of 10, I think it's a solid 9 out of 10 as a sci-fi film,
Yeah.
right? As a first time watch, because I've never seen Aliens. It's just I've seen Alien 1. I've never seen this one. So,
Now, did
and
you know there was a Green Lantern Aliens crossover?
no, I did not know that.
It's really good. It's really, really good. I'm trying to find it, but apparently they don't have it on DC. Maybe on this. Hang on, because I want to flip through that real quick and show you some stuff from that. But so there's also Batman Aliens. There's
Yeah,
Batman and Superman versus Aliens and Predator. There's also Batman.
versus Predator. Yeah,
Yeah, which is awesome. The first
but
one is good. The second one's not good.
it's like I said, Jared. It's like this. What I love about this
There's a
film.
Witchblade and Alien. There's a Witchblade versus Aliens and Predator. Wow. Go on, Teladia. I'm sorry.
The one thing I love about this film is because they kept the consistency going, and there was not no like I didn't feel like bored about this film. I was entertained, and I was hooked to my seat when it at every turn point, right? The only thing I really did that I felt a bit off about was the whole Marine Corps thing, but besides that, everything else was great. Like really loved it, and the Alien Queen thing too. For practical effect, I think that was pretty cool.
All right.
So
So here's what we're gonna look at real quick. So this is Green Lantern versus Alien. So check this out.
oh my
Oh wait,
god.
I'm gonna reshare real quick and just share the window. So yeah, they did this. So what's cool about this? So this at first. So what's cool about this? You have a Green Lantern that wakes up and he's like cocooned, and then the chest burster comes out of the Lantern logo,
Oh my god.
and then what you see is like some aliens or some guys in alien masks are like holding up a store. Green Arrow and Black Canary show up and fight, and then Hal shows up because Hal is close friends with Oliver and Dinah,
Yeah.
and then they deal with this, and then Hal rendezvous with the other lanterns, and then they find the xenomorphs. Now, here's the thing: they're of the DC like opinion that we don't kill people, so they just like gather
Okay.
up all the xenomorphs. But I love this image of like they have a bubble around them, and the xenomorphs are just piling on the bubble, and so they just fly them off in these bubbles. Now, here's the thing: they drop them on Mogo, the Green Lantern planet.
Why
And
would you
that-
drop them off there?
There's no other place because Mogo had no like life on it. And then we cut to a decade later. Now this is the story primarily takes place after Hal has turned to Parallax. So Hal Jordan is dead at this point, and Kyle Rayner is the Green Lantern. And we see a ship about to crash on Mogo. Next issue. This is a catch-a thing. Oh god. Okay, green and pig puzzle. All right, here we go.
Ah, I see what you're doing. Yeah.
Yeah, so then we see Kyle Rayner. He's working on the box art for a video game because he's an artist, and then he's visited by a bunch of former Green Lanterns. Now, remember, Hal destroyed the Green Lantern Corps when he turned evil, so technically these aren't Green Lanterns. And they discover that like a ship crash landed when we on Mogo, and you have to help us take care of this because even if we don't have a ring, we're still Green Lanterns. So they go to Mogo into the ship, and then are promptly they find a attractive female. More on that later. And then she basically tells them, yeah, my ship crash landed and we were attacked by xenomorphs right there. And then most of the former Green Lanterns are taken out. And what's actually interesting is as one of the as Kyle is trying to save one, the Lantern by accidentally pulls off Kyle's ring. So now he doesn't have his Green Lantern powers. Next, and another CAPTCHA. I'm going to skip this. So let's continue on. And then they descend into the alien hive. And basically Kyle also has to learn how to use guns. And he's still on the, I'm a DC superhero, I don't actually kill. And that's the funny part. That because these are the things where you could kill them and everyone would give you like a pat on the back. So it's more combat, more alien combat. Crow gets some blood on her. We'll discover why she's able to shrug that off later. And they discover the Queen with a bunch of colonists. And there's Kyle's ring. So as you see, they have the Queen. They found the Queen and everything like that. Let me just get this high quality. As a matter of fact, let me just do that. And he tries to call the ring to him, but apparently it won't do. It won't do that. Like it's like out of battery. And we kind of see the xenomorphs kind of tending to the eggs. And so so the girl whose name is Crow says, I'm going to go cause a distraction. And she does so. And you find out Crow is an android, hence which is why she wasn't affected by the acid.
Oh, okay.
And she goes, save my crew. So a facehugger gets on Kyle, but he manages to get to his ring and pull it off. Here's the thing. It's gone back and forth in the franchise how long after a facehugger gets on you that a xenomorph is implanted. So don't worry if it's like inconsistent. That's like a feature of the series, if you will. And then what I love is that then Kyle gets to do the Green Lantern oath. And this is after a series where he didn't really see like the use in it, but he's like, I understand now. So he goes, in brightest day, in blackest night, not darkest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power, Green Lantern's light. And then he like blasts away the xenomorphs and saves all of the colonists, in other words. And that's Green Lantern Aliens. And I think it's really cool. And of all the franchises to cross over with xenomorphs, yeah, why not do Green Lantern, right?
Yeah, definitely. But like I said though, Jared, when it comes down to this film, because obviously we're talking about aliens, I think what really sticks out is the fact that the facehugger thing, right? I really think that as a practical effect, that's pretty cool, right? That they made it practical and they made it work. If this was any other sci-fi film, you get judged on that. Star Wars, Star Trek, you get judged on that type of thing.
Using a practical effect. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's the way see, here's the thing. It just depends on how you utilize practical effects, because you can make them look good. You just have to like execute it properly. And I think the way they did it in like Aliens or Alien Romulus and stuff. Because the thing about practical is that when you make, because here's the thing about practical, if done right, it's less expensive in the long run. Because eventually you're not going to have to worry about the CGI aging. Because, yeah, there are some shots like the stop motion of the dropship and the wings folding open. Yeah, that does kind of stand out as maybe that is a little dated. But for the most part, this movie holds together very well. And yeah, Randy brings up a good point that he prefers practical effects over CGI. Yeah, as many times as you could. Because look at the Flash suit. I mean the suit in the Flash. That's a CGI suit. Whereas when you look at the suit in like Zack Snyder's Justice League, yeah, you really don't have like a comparison there. where it's an actual suit.
Or Superman, where they're using practical effects for some of this thing compared to CGI, right?
Mm-hmm.
Flight scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But Jared, like I said, I just think the practical over CGI is starting to come back into swing of effects, and I think they're making it. I think practical now coming into the fold compared to CGI, because I think CGI is getting outdated now, in my opinion.
Well, it's not getting outdated; it's just being overused. Because here's the thing: when you look at Alien Romulus and the amount of cash that is making, like that's the most monetarily successful Alien movie in the franchise. So when you're a studio executive looking at this, saying, okay, we should first off put the director on the Alien franchise and say do whatever you want. But maybe when you're looking at this, you can see that when you don't have that big of a budget because of the practical effects, it's easier for you to make your money back instead of having like hundreds of $1 million in budgets and then have to make that back.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking this up. So the budget for Alien Romulus was and that's the new one, $80 million.
That's not bad.
And so far it's made $290 million.
That's more than double than
that is 100% successful. So when you're looking at that, if you keep the budget low like that, 110%, you can make very successful movies in that way.
Yeah. 110%. I agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think we've talked so much about aliens. I think this stream, shall we just do a Q&A to wrap?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Q&A. So again, Q&A will be about anything you guys want to ask us about. Yeah, we kind of asked. Let's try and do questions other than aliens. Let's try that.
Yeah, questions other than aliens, where they can be about comic books. It can be about anything you guys want to ask us, gaming, whatever. You guys can ask us in this, because we've talked about movie. We talked about a good 40-minute session here for you guys to talk about discussion for this.
Mm-hmm.
Tavia saying, question, speaking of aliens, I'm just wondering, will you cover Aliens 3? No, because we've already decided what the movie night is going to be. So the next one is Predator 2, which is
the one after is Jurassic Park. That's our good friend Nick's pick. And then JJheat has picked the original Transformers animated movie.
Transformers, robots in disguise. Yeah. So that's for the month, and then it's Halloween month next month. So myself and Jared will have to come up with some ideas for next month.
I have some ideas. Trust me, I have some ideas, and we'll talk about them off stream. But Tabby says, speaking of franchise, I'm wondering, will you cover Terminator 0? Because I've seen the anime; it's really good. The anime was good. Currently, I don't have any plans to review that. It's good. I enjoy it. It's just not really my thing. So Lance Guy says, do you think Vader needs to come back to save the movie franchise? Wait, Vader? I'm talking about aliens.
No, he's talking about Darth Vader.
Oh, you mean like redo Star Wars, except bring back Darth Vader? Yeah, you could do that. Just read Batman 152. It seems Darkseid had the opportunity to kill Batman, but he let Batman escape, showing future crises. What do you think? Well, there's always been kind of a respect between Darkseid and Batman. Like, remember, again, in Batman Superman Apocalypse, when Batman's like, release Kara or I will nuke this planet. I always thought that was really cool. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. I always felt that was kind of cool.
I mean, Batman is the most respected.
He's Batman.
No, not only that, but he's the most respected character in DC. If you think about it, he's got respected from villains and aliens, right? You got Darkseid, an alien from outer space, literally respecting Batman for his plan to take down Darkseid. Right?
Mm-hmm.
No other superhero has ever done that. Not Superman, not Wonder Woman, not even Flash.
Yeah, that's never managed to like talk down to Darkseid. Exactly.
Yeah. So any more questions? Question. I'm wondering, how do you think about Absolute Power issue 3, and what is your prediction for the end, especially with Amanda
I haven't
Waller?
read issue 3. Have I read issue 3? I don't think I read issue 3 yet, but so far I'm enjoying Absolute Power for what it is, even if I don't like the overall event and stuff. Have you seen the news that Blue Beetle is getting re-released?
Wait,
Oh,
what?
great. Yeah, they're re-releasing it for Hispanic Heritage Month.
In theaters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Who created the engineers in the Alien franchise? They never say who created the engineers. Yeah,
Okay.
they never go into it. In Prometheus, they only talk about who created the aliens. But that's on with that. But in terms of like, yeah, in terms of Absolute Power, I still think the whole trope of the government versus the superheroes is kind of overplayed at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Tom King's Wonder Woman. We have this event. We have Injustice. They do this every single time, and I'm like, can we just move on to something different? If you don't have another idea for a story, then don't write the story.
Questions. Tevye saying, question: do you think the engineers were a good concept for the Alien franchise?
Without going into so much detail on it, because I don't want to like spoil it for Tevye. Some parts of it, I'll say that some Super Bowl trailer would be released during the Super Bowl. What do you think?
I heard differently.
What'd you hear?
I heard the rumor is a teaser would be this year, the full trailer would be a Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's what the rumor that Brown's talking about.
Yeah,
and
I think that's the rumor, Brown. I think if I was in James Gunn's shoes, that's a 5 months marketing there.
Yeah, you need to do it during the Super Bowl, because everyone watches the Super Bowl. And if you really want to like impress people, then you do that trailer at the Super Bowl.
But I think in terms of a teaser needs to be done in December, in my opinion.
Yeah, they could put it on like behind a big movie, and then put the teaser there to tease people about the movie, or like release on the internet in December, and then do the trailer for the Super Bowl. That's actually a good idea.
But it will never beat the Man of Steel teaser trailer. I'm sorry.
Oh, definitely no, it won't. But I'm interested to see because if it's a very impressive teaser, I'm going to be very fascinated with this. I'll definitely check it out.
Nothing beats Zack. Nothing beats Zack. I'm sorry.
Nothing beats Zack Snyder, because he is the god of DC. Yeah, so there you go. And no, but Tevye, I know you've seen it, but Teladia hasn't seen it, so I'm not gonna go into that. Gunn flip-flopped again, saying not Creature Commands, but Superman would be the star of the Gunverse. He does that all the. Remember when he was telling us that Blue Beetle is the first DCU character, but Superman is the first DCU movie?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It doesn't make sense.
Yeah. A question. Speaking of Alien, we'll make this the last one that we'll wrap up. Or actually, okay, yeah. A question. Speaking of Alien, are you guys excited for the Alien TV show? Yeah, they're coming out with an Alien live action TV show. That looks cool. That looks cool. I'll definitely check that out.
William will be reacting to that, I'm pretty sure. So,
oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, and yeah, we may talk about it on the CLD episodes that the episodes come out on. So we'll see. We'll see. Captain Boomerang back? Yeah, maybe. I saw that Jai Courtney wants to come back as Captain Boomerang. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that. But I think it's a good place to leave it. So Teladia, where can we find you, and what have you got coming on your channel?
Okay, firstly, thanks to everyone for coming through for this movie night. This was a great movie discussion. You guys can check me out on YouTube at Teladia Plays, on Twitter at Teladia Plays _ What I've got coming out is tomorrow. I'll be doing a live reaction to Batman Cape Crusader episode 6 with Jared as we react to a very good episode. And then Tuesday is the member stream for where we talk about everything from DCU to Marvel to gaming. We'll be talking about everything in the member stream. And then Wednesday is Snyder Fans Read Comics Forever Evil Part 3. And hopefully Bianca will join us for that as well with Jared. So
hell yeah. So as for me, comics for comics league. So tonight at 9 p.m. Britt and I will be going live to talk about Eiko, which is essentially an anime / manga series, but features essentially the daughter of Superman and Wonder Woman. So take that as you will. We'll be doing our regular in-depth conversation about it. And in terms of Under Two Capes, we're going to talk about DC's reboots, and that'll be on Friday at about, I would say 3:30 or 4 p.m. or something like that. If that's good, Teladia, and that will be like a live episode.
Okay.
And movie night and next week is Teladia's pick, Predator 2. Hell yeah. And let's see. Oh yeah, in terms of the gaming streams, it's Assassin's Creed Odyssey this week, where I'll be playing again as Wonder Woman. And yeah, that's about what I got. And anyway, stay heroic, everyone. Remember, Lois Lane is Lois Lane. She belongs to General Zod or the Alien Queen. Zois and Max about for life. See you later.